Time for another LGR quick review, and this right here is Jazzpunk, developed by Necrophone Games and published by Adult Swim. It's a first-person espionage adventure game kinda thing, with lots of self-aware comedy and surreal interactive weirdness thrown in, kind of like the movie Top Secret or The Naked Gun meets the games Panic and The Stanley Parable. Honestly, Jazzpunk is unlike about anything I've played, and that's a big reason I wanted to cover it. After one seriously fantastic intro sequence, the game begins by dropping you into a train station. You play Polyblank, an agent for some kind of agency based in an alternate universe cyberpunk Cold War. Oh yeah, and there's some random jazz thrown in here, hence the name. Random. That seems to be a word thrown around a lot when describing this game, and for good reason. It's all over the place in its references and absurdist humor. And while it feels a bit ham-fisted at first, like it's trying to set a world record for most pop culture references per square meter, I found the experience to be thoroughly enjoyable after I completed a mission or two. So yeah, what happens is that you'll be given increasingly bizarre missions every so often, which is done in increasingly bizarre ways. Sometimes it'll be as simple as infiltrating a Soviet installation or tailing an American. Other times you'll have to do something like catch and roast a robot pig, or exterminate rogue microchips in a kitchen. While you can just go from point A to point B completing your objectives, you'd be doing yourself a huge disservice, as it's all the stuff in between that really makes Jazzpunk a worthwhile experience. Being in a cyberpunk world filled with robots, the references to nerd culture are all over the place. Gaming culture as well, with minigames like Wedding Quake, an homage to Quake 3 Arena where you shoot wedding party members with champagne and collect prenup agreements. And a minigame reference to Street Fighter 2's car smashing sequence, but done in the first person and with a bit more humor. You'll run across things like this every few steps in this game, and it just put a huge grin on my face. Most of it's not laugh-aloud kind of stuff, but I can't help but love bits where you find a 3DO console in the sand with a metal detector, or have to pour coffee onto a Commodore PET to proceed. Granted, it risks alienating some players if they're not familiar with these references and in-jokes, but with as wide of a spectrum as the comedy covers, chances are you'll find something in here to make you laugh, or at least exhale sharply and chuckle to yourself. I honestly don't have any noteworthy complaints about the game, just a couple minor things like some objectives being a bit obtuse to figure out, and the humor being hit or miss depending on individual preferences. Also, there's the game length. You can complete it in about an hour if you just speed through it, but you'll miss a ton of awesome stuff. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours if you take your time, so whether or not the game is worth the asking price of $15 is up to you. Personally, I found the game to be a breath of fresh air, and I had a blast just wanting to see what absolute freaking strangeness was coming up next. Plus, the aesthetic, the soundtrack, and the whole feel of the game really appeals to me in a way I was not expecting. So if you see anything you like here, well, this is just good stuff. Why not give Jazzpunk a shot, especially if it's on sale? If you enjoyed this review and would like to see more, feel free to check out and subscribe to my channel, or see my other online venues of Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon. Also, thanks to Adult Swim for providing me a copy of the game with no strings attached, and as always, thank you for watching.